better for the park liaison to do that, as opposed to having the entire park board or representatives of the park board. So, you know, just at first blush, I think it sounds reasonable.
And we'll make sure that any material in there we run through Mike, I'm sure that we're not crossing any lines. And Beth had a very good point that we actually just keep it to the facts and possibly to make sure that we don't cross that line, that we don't really have a question and answer session to avoid any type of lead into those gray areas. So we sort of just come in there with the understanding this is a presentation of where we're at, where we're going, and leave it at that.
Yeah, and then I would say too, you just every opportunity you have, just really try to steer people to the website,
Right.
into the master plan. I'm conceptually I'm fine with that.
When it comes to the park board members going out and talking to the HOAs, if you could write something, again, I always prefer things to be in writing in terms of what that plan would be, how that would work, what the mechanics are.
Well, they wouldn't be talking. I mean, they can attend, but that's all they have to represent.
Okay.
But the idea is that
Okay.
obviously the concern is representation and as we,
Right,
you know,
right.
we felt that having either an employee or a trustee representation would have.
Okay, so it would always be a trustee or an employee that would be doing the talking?
Yes.
Okay.
Of the facts only, and
Right.
to go through my, if we were to do this, it would be presentation only. That representative would leave after the presentation. We wouldn't even open ourselves up to discussion so that we wouldn't be crossing that line.
And the other point that's been made in the past, if I may, is, are you going to be talking about current park projects, or are you going to be talking about future park projects, or where are you
I
going?
think we need to define
Yeah.
what that information is, what that presentation is, what clearly stays within the boundary of what we are allowed to state from a facts
Right,
perspective.
exactly.
And
Right.
anything that's even questionable or borderline just goes away.
Right, but I think it's all the information is based off the master plan. I mean, the idea is that we explain to them what has been done, what was been done in the last year, and what the future would look like based off the master plan, and what grants we applied for, how that would help, how that's going to help pay for projects. And then just leave it at, again, this is a facts-based presentation of what's going on with parks, trails.
I have one additional thought before I don't want to forget it. I know we've got a lot of people in the township that don't live in homeowners associations. So we need to, if we're looking at doing outreach, we should probably make a concerted effort not only to reach out to HOAs.
And Mr. Quigley and I had talked kind of about that regarding, you know, what kind of involvement are we going to get? Are we going to schedule these HOAs and then from an entire HOA, or we need to get 6 people to show up? That maybe we do them in more groups and we do 3 or 4 HOAs at once and do them as a public meeting with invites or something to that. Or, you know, then it's
You're still like dealing with
put on the
HOAs.
website.
My point is,
Even
you need to
outside.
make sure there's outreach outside of HOAs.
Right.
Because that's I think a sensitive point to people who don't live in homeowners associations. There's a lot of communications that goes between the leadership slots within HOAs, and there's a lot of people that say, I don't live in an HOA. So we just need to make sure we will at least pursue avenues for our, if we're doing this, we're making a concerted effort to do outreach, to communicate on park projects and priorities, that we do find alternative avenues to reach out to communities and individuals that don't live in homeowners associations.
And I think that was part of the discussion in doing groups, was adding announcements so that other people that aren't HOAs could also attend.
Good. Excellent. That's it. Thanks.
Would there be any possibility of doing something central, like here?
That's one of the options.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, that is one of the options.
Okay.
And that's what we were discussing, trying to figure out whether it'd be worth going to each HOA or doing it by groups. If we did by groups, we would have to do it by community type room area.
Right. Like larger, one larger.
Right. Regular dates.
Got it. Okay. Well, again, yeah, I agree with Trustee Cassidy. I don't have, conceptually, I don't have a problem as long as it's a trustee or an employee of the township doing the talking and being the spokesperson. Then I have no problem with
So in that, do you want more time to think about it, or just? want
No,
to-
no,
consensus?
I'm good, I'm good, I'm good.
Again, we'll make sure we work through Mike. Okay. I appreciate that, and I apologize for the
Okay.
misunderstanding of what that was.
I actually did not know what that was. I looked at this and said, gee, I think I've seen some form of this before. I wasn't sure what it was. I see that there's a comment from the public. Mr. Young, would you like to step forward and give us your name and address?
Dave Eby, 433 High Meadows Village Drive.
Okay.
Alliance.
Good evening.
Good evening. I believe that keeping the public informed all the time, not just close to levy, is very important, and that as much information as reasonably possible should be on the website available for people to use. You might want to consider an additional list server that would direct people to current park information, park board meetings, and such. But when you reach out to a homeowners association, what I heard is exactly right. Unless they've got a really hot topic, it's very poorly attended in general. Yet those organizations do what the township seems to have backed off on, putting out newsletters. And if you put contact information, how to find out more about Orange Township Parks by going to this address, give that information to the directors of the homeowners associations for them to include in their own mailings or distribution, then you may get some additional coverage that way, at no cost to the township.
Very good point.
Thank you.
Thank you.